Welcome to the crypt. We've dug something up for you. Why not stick around and watch Dream On? It's the best show on TV.
Welcome, Scooby Gang, to Geek Salad, episode 185.
Wait. We gotta do this right. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society in Geek Salad. We present episode 185. Are you afraid of the dark shadows?
Very nice.
Thank you.
I'm Abominable Andy.
I'm Mischievous Mike.
I'm Killer Katherine.
We have a special guest tonight as well.
Terrible Todd.
I'm Joe.
God damn it, Joe!
Joe, that was very spooky.
Yes,
nice
it
job.
was.
Nice job.
That was not
So-
maximum effort.
Yes. Welcome to our 12th annual Halloween episode. So, on this episode, we are going to be discussing our favorite horror and suspense-based television shows. And, Todd, thank you so much for graciously joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
Third shot on
Yeah,
the show.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, you found vinyl for this the topic as
I
well.
did, yeah. Welcome to the Toddcast, everybody.
Good job. but before we begin, we actually have a new potato chip.
Maple bacon.
Yes, maple bacon, which could very well tie into being horror, but I don't know yet.
How does it smell?
Oh, it actually smells quite lovely.
What a bouquet.
Yeah.
It smells like potato chips.
Yes, it does smell like potato chips.
If there was any other smell, it all went up
Well,
Andy's
now it's gonna
nose.
smell
Yeah.
like Joe.
What are you trying to say?
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take one.
Oh, now.
Now, all right, now we got to pass them around.
Now
here.
we've all smelled them. We have to eat them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Mike, can you move the strudels, please? Gotta get the microphone a little closer to the thing here. And, all right, ready? Get that crunch in there. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It tastes better than it smells.
And
Huh.
it tastes
doesn't-
like a kettle potato chip.
It
That's what she
doesn't.
said?
It doesn't taste bad.
But it doesn't taste like maple
It-
or bacon.
No,
Yeah.
there's a hint of maple in there. Not
Maybe a little on the finish, but yeah, it mostly just tastes like kettle brand potato chips.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like a sweet kettle ranch, but not
Yeah,
like a
it-
maple.
There's
Right.
a slight mapley, bacony flavor to it. It's very subtle, though.
Right. It doesn't
Very
taste like
subtle.
syrup,
No.
which is good.
I had bacon with my potato leek soup tonight. There's no bacon in there. I know bacon. I've had bacon tonight. That ain't bacon.
Okay. All right. Well,
Moving on.
shall we begin?
We shall.
Excellent. I have been waiting with great anticipation. Yeah. So, let's get on with some of our social media feedback. Starting with some of the stuff that we got from our Twitter feedback at Geek Salad Radio. First, we got Lisa Decay at Obi_Mom_Kenobi3.
Is she an Obi-Wan fan?
Possibly.
She's a wicked Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
First season of The Terror had some spooky, isolating moments. Avoid the second season like the plague. 90s kids checking in with Are You Afraid of the Dark? Dollhouse episode. Twilight Zone. Favorite episode, Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
That's a good one.
That is a good
We
one.
have quite a few here
Yeah.
to discuss. What do you want to start? I'm not a 90s kid, so I'm kind of leaving this on you guys for... I'm not familiar with The Terror. Aren't you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, I've heard that was like an AMC series or something like that. It was kind of based on a historical event of like a ship, an icebreaker back in like the 1800s
Yep.
or something. They got trapped in ice, and I think all of the crew members, I think they just vanished. No one ever found them.
Okay. What about Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's actually in the discussioning list here. Why don't we take a moment and talk about Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm not familiar with that one, but I know you definitely are.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah,
Todd?
it scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
90s kids, go ahead, talk about it.
Yep.
Tell me the truth. Did you call my house before and pretend you were Zebo?
Whoa, what's the matter, Josh? You sound kind of scared.
I'm not. Yeah, okay. I'm scared. I was scared on the ride, and I'm really scared now. Was that you?
Give me a break. Why would I?
What was that? Is that you, Cassie? Put down the phone.
Josh, we only have one phone. It's gotta be at your house.
If you don't give it back, I'll come up and get it.
It was just awesome.
Yeah.
Little vignettes, just and buffered by the
Midnight Society.
Midnight Society. And it was great.
Yeah, they were very atmospheric, not outright scary most of the time, but they were very, very atmospheric. And occasionally, there were a few of them that did not have positive endings.
Really? For a kid's show? Now, was this Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Wow.
The one that sticks with me is there's a kid trapped in a log without a jacket, and he froze to death, and then he became a ghost, and he kept haunting the girl and the boy that were in this area, and just kept saying, "I'm cold," like that. And oh my god, nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Until I was like 8.
There's one about like a girl. She was like in this. I think it might be in the dollhouse or whatever. She's in this house, and she would open the door, and there would just be a wall right there. And I think there'd be like another girl walking around, but she had like no facial features at all, just a blank.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good show.
Yeah.
And then obviously because everything from the 90s gets rebooted.
Yeah, isn't it back?
Yeah,
back,
yeah. I'm in the middle of watching the first episode. It's like 40 minutes long too. But
I hate when they do that.
it's not too bad actually. It's a nice little revival. Thing actually that I most remember about Are You Afraid of the Dark is that they made a PC game that I bought and played, and very, very good. It was Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of Orpheus' Curse.
Okay. I don't remember that one, but again.
This was like a Windows 95 type game.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, 90s.
Lisa also brings up Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, she did mention Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Which one is that?
That's the one where everyone, like, something weird happens, and then the townspeople just start turning on each other because they all think like they're monsters that are showing up, and then it turns out it was just like aliens kind of like doing a little test on them and seeing how badly everybody can.
Oh,
How easy it would be to get the humans to destroy each other, so that they can take over without having to do the work.
Wow,
Yeah, wow.
Totally irrelevant in this day.
Oh
and age.
that would never happen now.
No, never.
The tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and explosions and fallout. There are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudices can kill, and suspicion can destroy. And a thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout all of its own. For the children, and the children yet unborn. And the pity of it is that these things cannot be confined to the Twilight Zone.
So, all right. Original host Mike Cicerone at Mike Cicerone mentions Tales from the Dark Side, which he considers to be a great TV series. I, of course, have always confused it with Tales from the Crypt.
Man lives in the sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
I'm not familiar with Tales from the Dark Side, the television show. I remember the movie from like 1990.
I remember seeing a few episodes on Sci-Fi Channel back in the day.
Okay.
It's kind of like a... It's basically a step up from Are You Afraid of the Dark, but not quite all the way to like... don't know, Fear the Walking Dead or whatever.
Right.
But it's just another anthology series, but much more scary than like Are You Afraid of the Dark, and much more. There are many more bad endings.
Oh, it's also a lot more adult than
Right.
Are You Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it was produced by George Romero, so
Yeah, the opening.
I didn't really pay much attention, but I do remember it being kind of very low budget and cheesy when I watched it.
But the opening credits were very creepy.
Right. As opposed to something like Tales from the Crypt, which had a really high production budget for an HBO show.
Right, you got to remember, when it originally first came out, it was purely HBO, so there was some money behind it.
Right. But it's interesting, too, because a lot of people got their first directing gigs doing that. I think Schwarzenegger actually got his first directing gig. He made like 2 movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just remember one. I've only seen one episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Really?
Which one?
I think it starred, I want to say, Katherine O'Hara.
Okay.
And she plays like a ambulance chasing lawyer who gets into like a car accident or has her car like totaled in like this small town. So she's got to go to court, and they like are giving her an issue because like she's got a personalized plate that's got more letters than is legally allowed, and so she's being like represented by this little small town local lawyer, and I think she was found guilty, but the lawyer, her lawyer, goes to the chair saying like that your punishment is now you've got to stay here and be the lawyer for all these, and I get to die and get out of here.
Yeah.
I remember one episode, it was this woman who was like an aging beauty queen, and she caught wind of this like very, very prestigious pageant. And throughout the course of the episode, she's essentially finding these women that are better looking than her and more talented than her, and she's kind of killing them systemically throughout the entire thing. So she's really the only one left, and she wins. And then they reveal that the pageant is Miss Autopsy 1990.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember that episode.
Yeah. And that's creepy, too, because when they finally reveal it, like, they've actually cut her open, and she's still, like, alive.
Mm-hmm. I just remembered, the thing about Tales from the Crypt was, because it was, when it ran on HBO, when the seasons ran on HBO, because it could be on HBO, and because it was late at night on HBO, Friday night, was it Friday, like a Friday night, 11:30? There was a lot more, it was a lot more graphic.
Yep.
So you could get away with a lot more gore, a lot more sexuality that you wouldn't normally find in horror anthologies.
And that's weird. That's like the first age of HBO original programming.
Mm-hmm.
And stay tuned for Dream On, the breast show on television.
We can help you get morgue for your money. Whether it's mutual fiends you want or cold, horrid cash, we can guarantee you'll coroner the market.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch it. So.
No, okay, sure. Youngin'. I'm actually going to hold off on Lorraine from Show Me the Podcast things because it actually ties into something. She's more referencing my the GIF I put on here. And yes, it's GIF. Team GIF, Joe.
That's right.
Team GIF. Punch it in. Boom.
I'm a Team GIF.
Yes, Team GIF, not GIF.
No, I just say GIF.
No.
You go to hell. All right. Now for Facebook. Just a quick interruption. Nick from Black Girls Do Stuff 2 podcast did want to bring up a few, but unfortunately she got them in just as we were finishing recording, so I just wanted to pull out a couple of her choices here. Castle Rock, which interestingly enough is filmed in this area, central Massachusetts, and Prodigal Son, which is on Fox. I hate to say I haven't watched either of them, but I've heard amazing things about Castle Rock, and I know a lot of my friends and followers on Twitter absolutely love Prodigal Son, so I will definitely be checking those out. Thanks a lot, Nick. Sorry we got you in late, but hey, we got you into the show. And now, back to Geek Salad. We've got Dave Eddie McClain, who, by the way, has got a new book coming out that he's crowdsourcing, which is all about witches. He and his wife put this book together, so please check it out. I've definitely put a lot of this on our Facebook and Twitter page. He writes, as a kid who grew up in Rod Sterling's hometown, I'm legally obligated to say the Twilight Zone failure to do so violates some kind of ordinance.
Yep, I'm sure. The Twilight Zone was so good because they had like the scary episodes with bad endings, and they had the weird episodes with good endings, and it's just like a lot of different variety. They were definitely, anti-devil, pro-God, and pro-Santa Claus. There's a lot of fun, happy, happy Christmas episodes.
This film is basically pro-humanity and anti-bad things.
Right.
Yep.
You guys have a favorite episode?
My personal favorite, I can't remember the title off the top of my head, but there's a guy, he's a playwright, and he narrates into a recording device, and it creates characters, and then when he deletes the recording, they vanish. And it turns, and it has a twist. And then they have, at the end, Rod Sterling's giving the final coda, and he always talks to the camera, and then the guy talks to Rod. He's like, Rod!
You shouldn't have said that.
And goes to delete the tape, and you're like, ah! So it was...
In real life, such ridiculous nonsense could never...
Rod!
You shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't say such things as nonsense and ridiculous.
Well, that's the way it goes.
My favorite was always the one with Burgess Meredith. The
Time Enough at Last.
Which one?
Time Enough at Last.
There's Time Enough at Last. There's The Obsolete Man.
No, Time
Enough at Last.
Time Enough at Last. Because as a kid, when I was who wears glasses, who'd always. I mean, when I was a kid, I broke my glasses all the freaking time. 8, 10 years old, I'm either stepping on them, sitting on them, falling asleep on them.
See, they don't reveal what happens like 10 minutes after that, the ending of that, where he goes to a glasses shop and just reads it.
Yeah, right.
No. I'm sure all the glasses were turned to dust in the explosion.
I'll find one that works. Just me and the books. Todd, do you have a favorite Twilight Zone episode?
I do, and it's all of them that were parodied by The Simpsons. Because The Simpsons has pretty much ruined every classic thing for me.
True.
Terror at 5.5 feet.
Oh, that was classic. I love that.
And it's funny because I saw that first, and we may have talked about this for soundtracks. Like, I didn't see Mary Poppins until I was 24.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd seen Sherry Bobbins way before that. Terror at 5.5 feet with the gremlin on the school bus was supposed to be the plane.
Right.
So I went back and I watched that episode, so I'm like, I like The Simpsons.
Otto, you gotta do something! There's a gremlin on the side of the bus!
No problemo, Bart, dude. I'll get rid of it.
No! Oh no, I just made my last payment.
Now, while we're on the topic of the Twilight Zone, does anybody remember the 80s remake?
Yes!
Vaguely.
I never saw
it. It was bad. There's
I
one
believe
episode.
John Lithgow does.
It was
the
wicked
remake
bad,
of that one.
but there's one episode that I do remember that really stood out to me from that 80s remake was the episode where you could see time being actually constructed.
Oh.
And like this guy gets lost in time, or gets lost in like the stitch in time, and you can see like the workers actually creating the world around him like 5 seconds before it happens. Oh, it's wicked! It was wicked freaky.
Yeah.
Actually,
there's also the It's a Good Thing with Billy Mooney. And then they went on and did a sequel in the 90s with Bill Mooney's daughter as that guy's child.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
He can only send things to the cornfield. She can bring them back. And then put them back in the cornfield if she wants.
What about you, Mike?
I think wasn't there an episode where like a guy had a watch that could stop time?
Yes.
So you use it to like rob banks or whatever, and eventually
he broke it.
He drops the watch and it breaks, and so he's trapped
stuck in frozen time.
Yeah.
So he can't be in the world anymore. or the whole world is frozen. I can't remember how that one turned out. It was bad.
But
I'd be fine with that.
Actually, there was an episode with William Shatner, but not Terror at 30,000 Feet.
Yes, there was the one where they're at the diner and they're talking to the they're paying money
into a little
a little fortune teller thing, and people listen to it too much, and his wife or fiance is like, "We're just gonna go," and then you see another couple come in. It's like, "Can we leave town yet? No. Can we leave town yet? No." It's clear that they've been stuck there forever because they are just listening to the fortune telling.
My favorite episode is the one where the beautiful woman wakes up in the world where she is considered ugly.
They send
Isn't that considered like one of the classics?
That is one of the most classic.
Well, back when they used to have like those, Time Life, get all the episodes of Twilight Zone on VHS.
Well, you can watch them all on Sci-Fi Channel at like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. They just run them for
48 hours. It's their marathon.
Straight.
I remember when I was a kid growing up, the Twilight Zone was our Halloween marathon.
Yeah.
But because they Sci-Fi Channel bought the rights at some point, long before they got bought by NBC. And there's also radio drama versions of a lot of the episodes that you can get. Like I got them at the library. You got Adam Baldwin, Jason Alexander, Stacey Keach is the narrator.
Wow.
And so they get a lot of good people that can erudition.
Now, have any of you guys watched the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone?
I don't have CBS All Access, nor
neither do I.
feel
But I've heard it's a kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah,
it's behind the paywall.
Ooh, yeah, I was like,
no, I haven't.
I have to pay for something else.
You'll need a torrent site if you want to watch it.
How do you think I'm going to watch Picard?
Huh?
How do you think I'm going to watch Picard?
How do you think I watch anything on DC Unlimited?
Titans, torrent, too.
Must get a VPN.
Consider if you will. Pirating a show. Because you didn't feel like having another account and another password.
Because fuck
Tonight.
CBS All Access.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck CBS All Access. You're a network. Fuck you.
Yeah, why is it... Anyways, moving on.
Exactly. All right.
Apparently, if that was the only streaming service willing to buy it, I was like, it can't be that good.
Right, it's just, because you get Star Trek early. Yay, subpar Star Trek. Yay.
Can I just watch all of Next Generation on Netflix?
You can.
Yes.
All right. Chris from Chris's Cultural Corner brings up, I know this was a short-lived Twilight Zone ripoff, but I liked Amazing Stories.
I loved
Amazing Stories.
You might be, I think this probably premiered, the year you were born.
Probably.
This is 85. No, this is 85. I think I was in 8th grade when it premiered. There you go.
My husband was 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And John Williams did the theme song to it.
Yeah, it was a Steven Spielberg. Yeah, and there was something that Stephen King submitted, a story of his, which they were like, our stories are going to be a little more upbeat than this,
right.
But he ended up selling it to the Outer Limits or something, I think.
Oh, yeah. It was so good. Oh.
The episode I will always remember is, I think it was called The Flight or whatever.
Yes! The one with the B-17
Kevin
bomber.
in I think, Southern...
I don't remember, but I just remember...
they're like there's this. They were
the belly gunner. Yeah, the belly gunner is trapped in the bubble.
Yeah, and
the landing gear got shut off.
And so as soon as they land, he's going to get crushed.
Right. But he's an artist.
Yeah,
and he noticed that.
I remember that.
He draws giant cartoon wheels, and they just appear.
Right, everything he drew would came to life, and he drew cartoon wheels.
Yeah,
that is excellent.
That episode is hands
top
down
notch. Because I think that specific episode, I believe, was directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Well, Tim Burton actually directed one of his first gigs on Amazing Stories, Family Dog.
Yeah, Family Dog. That was. I didn't like that one.
It's Tim Burton.
It's Tim Burton. It's early Tim Burton.
Early Tim Burton.
Yeah.
All right, Chris also mentions a few more, like Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Good evening. The Addams Family. Good job, guys.
I want to see the movie.
I want to see that too.
It was okay.
Yeah. The Munsters.
Just because I have a man crush on Oscar Isaacs.
Okay.
Who doesn't?
I mean, everyone was always Munsters.
Well,
or
yeah,
Addams
you have a
Family.
regular question.
Yeah, exactly.
I prefer the Addams Family. I didn't mind the Munsters, but I prefer the Addams Family.
The Addams. Well,
See, I watched the Munsters. I didn't really watch the Addams Family.
Same.
See, I watched the Addams Family, and it's funny you mentioned that because I just saw this meme about the Addams Family the other day that mentioned that basically the Addams Family is like a parody of the archetypical perfect American family.
Yeah.
And you look at the husband, and the husband absolutely loves his wife to death. And
she's devoted to
she's
him too.
Completely devoted to him, and it's like
that makes
wow,
that weird.
that is some commentary on the American family back in the 60s.
Well, the interesting thing is now too is that we've had now 3 Addams Family movies,
which weren't all bad. I enjoyed them.
Honestly, Addams Family Values is amazing. It is so much better than the first movie.
The first movie was okay, but Addams Family Values.
Raul Julia was so good. As Gomez. He was perfect.
But honestly, the standout of those movies, Christina Ricci.
Clearly.
Oh yeah, clearly, easily.
Yeah. Especially in the second movie.
Oh, dude.
Well, that's because she did so well in the first movie that they're like, we have to give her more to do.
Right, exactly.
Happy smile that she does.
Oh God.
Yep, saw Addams Family, the new animated one on Friday night. Watched Addams Family 1991.
Yeah,
I've seen Addams Family Values. I've actually never seen the original Addams Family.
Ooh,
the TV show?
No, the original show, the original movie.
Yeah,
it's got the Mamushka.
Yeah. It's weird too because Chris brings up the Addams Family. He brings up the Munsters. I couldn't picture the Munsters getting like a big screen remake.
No.
They didn't they try to do a reboot of the show?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s,
80s or 90s.
Back in the 80s when everybody's having that 60s nostalgia.
Yeah, I remember trying to watch it and being like, oh.
Because all the baby boomers were in charge of everything.
Yep.
No, just you wait. It's coming next year. CBS All Access, baby.
CBS Badass!
I repeat, fuck CBS All Access.
And then Chris brings up another one, I believe, from the early days of HBO original content, The Hitchhiker.
That was so good and scary. The Hitchhiker was wicked scary.
No idea.
No?
Nothing.
Okay. Now,
well, the thing about The Hitchhiker was more psychological terror than actual, boo, actual blood and gore. And it played with your mind.
Right. It did.
A lot of things played with my mind.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
we see the effects now.
Yeah. Now, one that I wanted to get into, and it's kind of a good place to take a stop on this one, the Bingeables podcast had just this week put out an episode about the show, the season 1 of What We Do in the Shadows, which is based on the 2014 movie. Directed by Taika Waititi, starring Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. And Todd, have you seen that? Oh yeah. Have you watched the TV show?
I have not.
Okay, you need to watch this show because the Bingeables just did a fantastic job. Just making I started listening to the show I need to watch these episodes, and within 3 days, done. 10 episodes, 22 minutes on Hulu. Oh, Jesus. The vampire stuff is just...
Last night, there were all these people half drunk.
Where did they find the alcohol?
No, they had been half drunk.
Oh.
Please, finish a whole victim before moving on to a next one, okay?
It's so brilliant because it's not a scary show at all. But these are vampires. There are 3 vampires, or actually, there are 4 vampires living in Staten Island. Not the characters from the movie, though, but it is the same universe, as will be revealed in one of the episodes where they go on trial. They're all still old world, old Europe vampires too, so they still kind of dress like that. One is an old Transylvanian king who found out that his country was dissolved in the 14th century. The 14th century. There's a married couple. One of the guys, he's British. Every time he turns into a bat, he's just like, bat! And he just
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
Yes! They actually do have an episode where they fight with the werewolves. Arj Barker from Concords is one of the werewolves.
That's a really good werewolf name.
Yeah, Arj Barker?
Yeah.
And because it's on FX, they are pretty much allowed carte blanche to do anything. They curse. There's a lot of blood. Because they can't eat, like, human food, they take their head vampire out for a night on the town. And he's like, let's do shots, everyone! And he goes to a bar, they go into the bathroom, he's like lifting this guy up and like, come on, shots! Oh my god, it's just... Oh. And there's a whole story about their... one of them has a familiar who is their human, like, servant.
Yeah.
Who's just expecting any day he's going to get turned into a vampire. That's all he wants, because he wants to be Antonio Banderas from Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, God. All right, I have to watch this now.
Yes!
Who is he?
He was the one that turned Lestat.
Okay.
It's closer to the end of the movie.
God, it's been so long since I saw it.
Yeah.
It's trash.
But, oh my god, it's just... Please, do yourself a favor and watch it. You can... 5 hours, you're done. Less than 5 hours, you're done with everything. It's so much fun. So this episode, we're doing a podcast promo swap. This episode, it is for the Bingeables podcast. Are you a geek looking for a TV-centric podcast? Give the Bingeables podcast a try. Co-host and partners in crime Chinlin and Isaac are geeks who love to watch TV and recommend the bingeable ones. There's so many shows out there. Sometimes you need a little hand in trying to figure out just which one to watch next. The Bingeables podcast dives deep into the episodes of shows like Disenchantment, Firefly, and more. Stick around on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and all your top podcast platforms for the next show to binge. Follow them on Twitter at BingeablesPod to engage in the conversation. So now let's get on to the list, shall we?
Okay.
All right, now...
I do have one... We had more, because my husband put something down.
Oh, we did? Okay, can you find it?
I will try to find it,
all right.
But... or you can try to look it up.
I'll look it up while you talk.
Yeah, my coworker Kevin asked me who's gotten turned on to our show because he likes listening to podcasts.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
He mentioned The River.
All right, I'm not familiar with The River.
I did actually watch it. It was a short-lived show in 2012. There were a lot of scary, twisted, weird suspense shows that were trying to take over for Lost around that time.
Oh.
And they kept all bombing horribly. And the River was one of those that didn't end up doing very well. But I did watch it, and I remember thinking it was not bad, and it was kind of spooky. Mm-hmm. And there was an actor in it that I'd seen on like the sci-fi attempt at the Dresden Files and some other, and he was on an episode of Warehouse 13, and I liked him as an actor, so watching the show was kind of just worth it to see him working. But it's the idea, like, somebody goes missing and a bunch of other people go looking for him along the Amazon, and it turns out it's like a haunted world, and every time you take a twist down the river, something horrible happens.
Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never bothered with it.
It doesn't seem like your cup of tea, because it was very serious, and there was no, like, any kind of lightheartedness to break up the tension at all.
I don't know why I'm not finding this stuff from your husband here.
All right. It's apparently his favorite Japanese body horror guy did a TV series.
No, he sent it to the Geek Salad Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, I'm looking for... Oh, yeah, it was in the thing. I'm in there right now. I can't find it. So, if someone wants to look it up, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's see.
So anyway, let's start with some of these. Joe, do you want to look that up?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
While we start, Katherine, because I know you're the one who's probably got the most knowledge about this one.
Buffy.
Well, I was actually going to say Dark Shadows, but go ahead and talk about Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We need to justify Todd's being. Go ahead, guys. Buffy.
I'm telling you, I've seen this somewhere before. I just can't remember where. I mean, it's like...
It's the end of the world.
Again?
It's, the earthquake. That symbol is,
I told you. I said end of the world, and you're like, poo-poo, Southern California, poo-poo.
I'm so very sorry. My contrition completely dwarfs the impending apocalypse.
Yeah, he doesn't have vinyl this week, so it has to be something else.
I do have Buffy on vinyl, though, the musical episode.
I only have it on CD, but I remember, my coworker Kevin, he's like, do you know why they made it? And I'm like, yes, I read the liner notes on the CD. What are you talking about, duh? Oh, yeah. But one of the good things about the sidetrack into the musical episode was that they built up a whole lot of secrets that everybody was keeping, and then they have this episode where everybody's cursed to sing and dance and reveal all the secrets, and then they have to deal with the fallout after that.
Yeah,
so
it
was
a really good episode.
It was a musical episode, and it forwarded the plot,
Yep.
which is what good musicals and good songs do. But yeah. Like, I remember watching commercials for the show and going, I don't know. And finally I got sucked in sometime in early season 2. And, like, me and some friends watched it through the end of the series and also watched Angel together. Like, that was our weekly ritual. We went over to each other's places and watched the TV show.
And the scariest episode was easily Hush.
Yes, absolutely.
The gentlemen are
scary, creepy, and... Yeah, Hush was a really good episode.
Yes.
Just an absolutely amazing episode.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the Dark Willow plot line was amazing.
I liked it, but I don't know.
I was so deep into the show. I was investing in characters. I had 2 big boxes of VHS tapes where I'd been recording all the episodes so that I could binge watch seasons while doing sewing projects.
Yeah, actually, I got the entire first season on VHS from a friend of mine, and I just watched through all of that, and that was about mid season 2, I think. So I got caught up there and watched straight through. I think the only season I didn't really watch was the last season.
I watched it, but. It was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of getting over.
Kind of wind it down a little bit.
Yeah. And Angel was really kicking off at that point, so.
I only really caught Angel sporadically. I watched the first season, the first 2 seasons, and then I just kind of fell out. I watched like some episodes here and
different
there.
show, for sure.
It's very different,
very different. But, I mean, when you think about David Boreanaz having been on TV now for like 27 years straight.
Yeah.
And like...
And he's
he
done
was
a couple
Angel
of
for
movies
8
here and
years,
there,
and then
yeah.
he was on Bones for 15 years. And he was on SWAT. Like, the dude just loves being on TV.
I first saw David Boreanaz when he was on an episode of Married with Children.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played.
That's right, he was.
He played Kelly's boyfriend when they go the whole family's going to a movie, and he just wanted to make out with Kelly, and every point, Al is just kind of banging him against the wall.
Like beating him up.
Right.
So, just to interject, I found
you found Joe's thing? All right.
Joe's thing. And he talks about, and I know what he's talking about, is there's this Japanese manga artist.
Oh, yes.
Junji Ito. And he has this anthology series that's on Crunchyroll called the Junji Ito Collection.
Yeah, if you want
body horror and stuff that really mess with you.
Didn't he create The Grudge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or something, I believe,
Audition, the television show.
He either did The Grudge or The Ring.
Like the original Japanese
The
version.
original Japanese,
that we've then ripped off,
Yeah, he is...
An American, inferior American ripoff of a Japanese horror film? No way!
Something to make it a little lighter so we can take it.
Japanese horror is really out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is genuinely fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is body horror that when Joe's running out of ideas for monsters to throw at us in our role-playing campaigns, he'll go watch that, and then there's horror and scary, and
Yeah, I've steered very clear of it because I know exactly what...
I mean, it's pure nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, if a cartoon can scare you, this will do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot to say about Buffy and Angel.
Yeah. I have the weirdest reason for why I avoided it, because it's more like a thing I remember somebody saying, and it just, like, I never want to watch this show ever, and it has nothing to do with the actual show itself. So one of my managers when I worked at Suncoast Story Drink, her husband was the manager at Aubon Pan.
Urban Pain.
Aubon Pain in the ass. That place. And she said that she would never watch Buffy, and this kind of got me on her side, because there was one guy that worked at Aubon Pan who just, like, all he did was talk about Buffy. Can he talk like this? He didn't have any teeth, and he would like eat roast beef sandwiches, and she said it was the most like disgusting thing she's ever seen in her life. She described it to me, and now I can no longer watch Buffy.
Get over it?
You must get past
Yeah,
this.
I must, but it's also that show came out in the 90s. So now No Fun Andy is going to come around and
It's a lot of good stuff and fun.
Yeah.
And of Angel, I think the one where he encounters he deals with the ghost that's in the hotel. That's one of the best episodes.
Yeah.
And then Smile Time.
Smile Time's so good.
Smile Time is such a good episode.
But
David
really,
Boreanaz-
every season, there's two. Like every episode's pretty good. A lot of the stuff in season 1's not great. Some of the stuff in season 2 isn't great. But consistently, every season, there is something that is mind blowing about that show. Like it's the writing or just I don't know. I mean,
it was
any episode that Joss Whedon writes and directs.
Yeah, this
in
was
the top
peak
10.
Joss Whedon. This
All
is
right.
like
Yeah.
Joss Whedon
Yeah,
at
this is-
his very best.
Is this something we should all be discussing? No. It just sounds a little serious.
It was mostly theoretical. We were just working out a... Look, if cavemen and astronauts got into a fight, who would win?
Oh. You've been yelling at each other for 40 minutes about this.
Yeah, it definitely did really. And then it went far off the rails, and I'm like, really, a son? I'm done.
I will say the Cordelia storyline.
Cordelia's character arc was amazing.
Yeah.
You made a face, Todd.
Yeah. I guess I was more into Buffy than Angel.
So. All right.
Fair enough.
Watch it.
Yes.
Get over it, Andy. Watch it.
All right. Fine. We still refer to us our Michelle Gellar's duck face, though.
Go for it.
Eric Balfour is in the first episode.
Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised. Jeremy Renner's on Angel.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
First season.
All right.
Apparently he's really crazy.
Apparently, I just found that out. Yes, he's insane.
Yeah.
If those truck
Jeep
ads,
those
didn't,
Jeep ads.
yeah, those Jeep ads didn't tip you off immediately. This has not been a good year for Mr. J. Ren.
Oh, well.
All right. Dark Shadows.
I watched 2 episodes of this on Hulu tonight just to rebuff myself. I was introduced to it when they were running it on the Sci-Fi Channel. And it's a cheesy 60s soap opera.
Yeah.
With
Supernatural soap opera.
With vampires and werewolves and witches and time travel and all kinds of fucked up shit. It's...
I apologize for coming without letting you know in advance.
It's uncanny.
What is?
With that portrait over there, have you seen it?
Yes. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, if it weren't for the clothes... Well, forgive me for staring, but for the moment it seems as though I'd seen a...
Ghost?
Well, the likeness is remarkable. I can hardly believe it.
The Collins blood always had a certain persistent strength.
And there's like things crashing offset and they just keep going.
Right. Because, I mean, essentially, I think it was shot
BBC
live.
props.
And it was also like, have you guys ever seen, like, those televised theatrical things? They do it a lot, they used to do it a lot in the 70s on PBS.
Brought to you by Paul Ball.
Well, have you ever seen I, Claudius?
Yes.
Okay, so a lot like that. It's essentially, it's a staged play, or a filmed play, shot for television.
A teleplay.
A teleplay, yes. Actually, they just spoofed that genre on Netflix. David Harbour did one called Frankenstein's Monsters Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's shot just like that, with like the cheap things where people have trouble getting through doors and they can't close them, so the door swings wide open behind them.
You can tell the walls are made of fiberboard.
But yeah, that's Dark Shadows, which, by the way, was hugely popular at Suncoast. And
Jesus Christ!
How many times do we need to take a drink? Come on.
No, I can't drink anymore. I'm blind.
Drunk, Andy.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Frid as Barnabas Collins was like the good. He was like the greatest thing about that show. That was why the show held together.
Because he was so invested in it.
He was so invested in it and did very well. Everybody else was pretty flat.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Johnny Depp
remake?
God, no.
There are some. It's not a horrific movie.
Yeah.
It's 3 steps away from being terrible.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, let's moving on to The X-Files.
I found Van Blunt's clothes in the locker room. He must have walked out of here wearing the deputy's spare uniform.
After hitting him over the head.
I have a theory, if you want to hear it.
Van Blunt somehow physically transformed into his captor, then walked out the door, leaving no one the wiser.
Scully, should we be picking out China patterns or what?
And I want to talk mainly about the Monster of the Week episodes.
Yeah.
Because
what's really funny is going back and watching the old episodes. Their cell phones are enormous.
Yeah, you want to talk about
oh, yeah. and
I can't run. I have a cell phone in my pocket.
Yeah, and there was a lot of the drinking game was, one of the rules was every time they go, "Where are you?" as the first sentence, take a drink.
Yep.
when you answer the phone, Scully, where are you? Doug.
There were a lot of great monster episodes, though. There's Fluke Man.
Oh yeah.
Which was a really fun episode. Tombs.
That
one's terrifying.
That was scary.
And then they brought him back. He got a part 2.
They loved him so much that they brought him back and then killed him.
Yeah, he would go to fan conventions and beg to be brought back.
You can't have the Monster of the Week be a recurring.
Right, exactly.
This is of the week.
Monster of the Weeks.
The Peacock family home.
Oh,
I believe
is that with the inbred family?
That is the inbred scary ass family. Apparently, that one only aired the once. They
Really?
never reran
Really?
it.
I wonder what. Well,
there's a reason behind that.
Do you remember the episode?
I do remember. I remember. You notice I went from a question to a statement.
Right.
Mid-sentence.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the very classic Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That is a fantastic episode.
That was a great episode.
There was one episode where it was a vampire themed episode, but it starts off with them hunting down this kid they think is a vampire, and they shoot him, and they kill him, and they find out that the fangs are fake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of their funny monster episodes. It still turns out the entire town are vampires.
Right.
But they're also pretending to be vampires to throw everybody off the scent that they were actually vampires.
Yep.
That was great too, because that was one of because they do the prelude before the music starts, and Scully is looking at the body. It's like, Mulder, come here. The teeth are fake. Ah, shit.
I love how they every season they'd have at least one really kind of funny episode.
I love with the new.
I learned everything about courage from Dungeons and Dragons.
When they brought it back a few years ago for that 2-season arc, the one with Rhys Darby, playing the lizard man who turned into a human, is one of my favorite. It actually is one of my all-time favorite X-Files episodes, because he doesn't know what to do. He's been asleep for 1,000 years. It's just his time to not hibernate. He turns into a human. And there's just this story where he decided to be more human by getting a job. He gets a job at a cell phone store, and he's telling Mulder about this. And Scully comes in, and she's like, "I think my phone is broken." She just holds it up. "My boyfriend won't send me pictures of his junk." And then I had 6, and I was good at it. You didn't do that. No, and I'm lying about it too, just like a human. Oh, it is just... Those monster episodes are great. The one where they were in the suburbs. Do you see the one? It was close to when they were starting to wrap it up, and before David Duchovny left the show for a while. Mm-hmm. They were staying in a planned community, and they were posing as Rob and Laura Petrie.
Oh, okay. I remember. Yeah.
And what was happening was there was this moss monster that was coming up out of the lawn. If anybody did anything to upset the gentle balance of the community. So Mulder is doing things like putting a basketball hoop up in the driveway that's not allowed. And then the moss monster shows up. Those are amazing episodes.
Damn HOA.
And that was my introduction to Brad Dourif. He was in Beyond the Sea.
Oh, yes. Was that the black and white episode?
Huh?
Beyond the Sea. Which one was that?
That's the one where he's a convicted murderer, and Scully believes him, and Mulder doesn't. He's like, no, he's just a liar. I put him behind bars, But apparently, he almost got executed. It didn't work, or something happened, and he became a medium and could see the dead. And he starts talking to Dana. Her dad just recently passed away, and so he gives her some messages and stuff like that, and it's really neat.
Awesome. I love this show. I'm glad that they're kind of done with it now.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the more recent monster episodes they had with this too was the automated. They were just fighting automation in the episode. They go to this restaurant, this sushi restaurant, and there's nobody there. You place your order on a tablet, and it just brings it out, and it's just great. Things don't work, and they start complaining about it. And it's almost wordless. I don't think they actually mention. There's not a word of dialogue until half hour into the episode.
Yep.
But everything it starts attacking. The Roomba starts attacking Scully.
Well, that's just the Roomba.
Yeah, well,
that's what they do.
That's why you should never get a Ouija board carpet. So I know that asshole Ruben's just going to start conjuring the spirits.
Yep.
All right, so next up on this list here, we have The Walking Dead.
Ugh.
I made it through many seasons, but when we got to Negan, we just crapped out.
I tapped out at Negan as well. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, I watched the first couple episodes, and here's the thing. For me, the whole zombie genre is so fucking played out. I am so sick of it. I mean, it's when The Walking Dead as a TV show first premiered, even then I thought zombies, they should be done with the zombies. Everything had to have a zombie. Video games had zombies. Comic books had zombies. I mean, Marvel zombies.
Marvel zombies, exactly.
DC had the Blackest Night arc, which was Green Lanterns turned into zombies. It's just enough with the zombies. And you can see the quality. I mean, you watch any of you see Facebook and everything. The whole community, The Walking Dead, is just going so downhill, cratered in terms of its quality.
Yeah,
and I'm so sick of zombies. I'm just so sick of them. Ah!
I liked the characters, and so it was fun to see them all survive and stuff. But we got to Negan, and it was just Jeffrey Dean Morgan would go, wave around his bed. I was like, wow, you are not a good... How did you get movies? What the fuck?
What's my name? I am Groot.
I can understand that the whole title, The Walking Dead, is actually an allegory about the actual people, not the zombies. But it's...
But I'm with Katherine in the sense that the characterizations of a lot of the people and the way that you have to survive is very intriguing. I mean, the zombies really play a very, very minor role in the overall story.
But you know what? I thought, because I've read the Walking Dead comic books,
right.
The original Robert Kirkman comic books, and you know what I think did a better job of showing that versus The Walking Dead? World War Z, the original book.
Yeah, not the movie.
Not the movie, because the movie was such a wasted opportunity. If you ever read World War Z, the book, you when you're reading it, you're picturing basically a Ken Burns documentary, because it's about how the people you have this zombie apocalypse, and it's about how the people dealt with it.
I really like the audiobook.
Yes,
the audiobook.
Right. That, I think, of any zombie media out there, the World War Z book is arguably the best. Beyond that, I'm done with zombies. No more.
I'm not into zombies, so I don't know this.
I gave up for one huge reason, which was essentially I was tired of every season essentially leading up to the big boss battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then having to start the level over again with another big boss battle.
I can see the attraction of the zombies because they encompass everything that humans fear in one
which
easy
is exactly
package.
Why I don't watch them.
Well,
I'm also terrified of being torn apart by them.
That's the thing. It's body horror. It's
loved ones coming back to kill you.
Biological warfare, an unstoppable enemy, all the things that humans fear. But it's too easy. That's the thing. It's too easy. It's just such a go-to. It's like...
Right.
There were a couple seasons there where it was pretty good. You know what I mean? I think from probably season 2 through Negan. Something like when they went to the prison, when they... all that kind of stuff. But
I love watching Carol's involvement. Evolving.
But they had that moral center to the show, whether it was Dale...
Carl.
Or...
Carl!
I was on Team Kill Carl for a very long time.
Kill Carl. Herschel. Once Herschel was gone, Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Great characters. You maybe have a moral center. I haven't watched this season.
I haven't watched it in 3 years.
Like I said, I mean,
second, the dude who thought he was Jesus with the tiger came around. Huh?
Oh, no, the other guy.
Yeah, not Jesus, not the character Jesus. It was.
I mean, everything I read about The Walking Dead now is just how bad the quality is nowadays.
Right.
It's just and it's become okay, who's going to die at the end of the season? Who's the character that's going to
who's the stalwart character who's going to die now?
They really should have, you kill a show while people still care.
Right. And then there's Fear the Walking Dead, which nobody watches. I don't know why they still make it.
I know
Diane
people that...
Diane likes it.
Some people do.
Now, that one I do like. I'm kidding.
Aren't they making another spin-off?
Yes, yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've never watched
the Next Generation. It's showing how
it's a never-ending cycle because everyone was infected. That's what happened. All right, next up, American Horror Story.
Oh, Miss Evers, you have always been the only one I can count on. You are a pillar, and so I give you the honors. What order shall we die in?
Oh, Mr. March. No, I really don't know. Well, the part of me wishes you would go first so I could launder the sheets. There's no time for that, is there?
No?
Never
You're making a face, Todd.
Never seen it.
No?
Diane loves it. I've watched a couple episodes.
I've been bouncing around on it. Autumn and I started watching Freak Show. Yes, you're pointing at my wife who's sitting here. I know she wants to get involved in this, or no?
No.
All right.
Okay.
We would tend to watch it if the actual thing, if the setting and everything really made sense to us and something that appealed to us. The Freak Show one is amazing. It's so good.
Actually, I remember watching a couple episodes of Freak Show, American Horror Freak Show. It was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, and it's just that Ryan Murphy just has this great troupe of actors that are always coming back and playing different roles. Evan Peters I think he got his start on this prior to being in the X-Men. He's been keeping Sarah Paulson steadily employed, and Jessica Lange and Kathy Bates and Angela Bassett and just all these other people. And it's just the Freak Show season was fantastic. I just love that. I just love that aspect. We started Asylum, but it was a little too freaky. I might go back to it.
Really?
Yeah. And Coven was excellent.
Which one was the one with Lady Gaga?
Oh, Hotel.
Okay.
I'm watching that season now. Wow, that is just like we can blow our wad on a whole bunch of things. There's vampires, there's ghosts, there's serial killers.
There's a vampire serial killer.
Yeah. It is interesting though because they introduced very early on that Evan Peters' character is this eccentric billionaire who built that hotel essentially as a murder house, just kind of like. There was a historical serial killer whose name escaped me.
H.H. Holmes.
Yes, thank you. H.H. Holmes, who made a murder house.
He did. He got a whole bunch of people to build up this house where he could kill people in lots of different ways.
And never find the bodies.
And then what he did was he burned them and then sold their skeletons to medical schools. And also took out all kinds of insurance claims. So he was doing insurance fraud, serial killing, and he got all set up right in time for the Chicago exhibition.
Oh, real Renaissance man.
So he was all set up, and he had a whole bunch of people. He had a lot of wives that he took out insurance policies on and killed them. And
it's
a real go-getter.
Herman Webster Mudgett, I think is his real name.
But oh god, I mean, the hotel is a very interesting. Lady Gaga's not bad in it, but essentially it's all and Kathy Bates and Sarah Paulson are just really the stalwarts on there.
I mean, Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Kathy Bates is amazing.
Yeah.
But what I'm watching right now with that is one of the characters was turned into a vampire so she could stay with her son, who he was kidnapped like years before, and now she's going to be a vampire to stay with him. But she's also a nurse, and she sees this kid who's dying of measles because his mother didn't vaccinate him.
Oh, God.
So she injects his IV bag with some of her new vampire blood to heal him.
And turns him
And
into
then
a
she not only turns him into a vampire, but then the kid goes back to school, turns his entire class into vampires.
I think the cat's out of the bag now.
Yep,
unintended
exactly.
consequences.
Yep. But it definitely it's very stylish. It's very cool. They've got great soundtracks.
Yeah.
They really do. All right, so next up on here, I've got Twin Peaks.
Harry, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it. Don't wait for it. Just let it happen. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this.
Well, it's suspense. It's not that scary, except have you guys, any of you guys ever watched Twin Peaks?
It kind of went off the rails for me after like the 4th or 5th episode.
Okay.
I tried watching a few episodes when it was going to get the comeback.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand the attraction.
I never watched the comeback.
You know what? It's like David Lynch wrote the first 3 episodes and then had no idea what to do afterwards.
Yeah. I'm amazed they got through the whole Laura Palmer thing for as long as they did before they finally revealed it.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it was her dad, but not really her dad. He was possessed by the evil spirit Bob, who was one of the guys who worked on the set.
Yep.
Who possessed the detective?
Dale Cooper.
Yeah.
Damn fine cup of coffee though.
Nah.
See, you guys are old enough to remember when it was a cultural touchstone.
Yep.
You two, on the other hand, were not.
No.
What, I was never a cultural touchstone? What the hell?
The only thing that really stood out about Twin Peaks for me was the opening music.
That is great. Oh God, Angela Belamonte's music is just awesome. All right, moving on. Goosebumps.
Nah.
No one?
Didn't watch.
No?
No.
Mike?
No.
Todd?
Read the books.
Okay.
Yeah, the books were good.
There is a dummy that's pretty prominent in the books.
I will say the Jack Black movie is actually fairly entertaining.
I've heard that.
My kids enjoyed it, so.
Okay. So there's a guy who's just trying to justify why he said it was pretty entertaining.
That's right.
Kids like it.
That's right.
Yeah, my kids.
Yes.
That one. Yay.
Kolchak the Night Stalker.
There was the original from like the 60s or 70s.
With Darren McGavin, the old man from Christmas Story.
Yep. And there was also a reboot on Sci-Fi Channel. Which was okay. I watched that. That was not bad. It was just called Night Stalker, I think.
When I first moved to the mainland, I used to watch that with my grandfather. Because he loved it. I had no idea what was going on.
Was it like Columbo for like extra supernatural
Basically,
things? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It was, you know what it was? It was X-Files before X-Files.
Yes. Because I remember when they started releasing X-Files VHS at Suncoast.
Oh my God!
They actually started releasing like the Kolchak the Night Stalker movie and some of the episodes.
I always got Kolchak mixed up with the one that starred Telly Savalas.
That's
Kojak?
Kojak, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Kolchak was he like an investigator?
Who haunts you, baby?
Like an investigative reporter. He wasn't actually like a
cop, a
cop or anything like that, but.
I don't think I ever watched an episode of Kojak. All I know about Kojak is he's bald like the lollipops and always got a plum spot, which to this day we still call right next to the door, which we call the Kojak spot. Could be rush hour, but he's just got to pull right up to that spot. Kindred the Embraced.
Yes, I watched that one.
I watched that. That was a 90s vampire show based on the White Wolf vampire role-playing game.
Yep.
Was it really?
Yes, it was. That's why it was Blah the Blah.
Okay.
Vampire the Masquerade, Kindred the Embraced, which I called Vampire 90210 because it was
It basically was, yeah.
Yeah, it was They were trying to do a supernatural romance. Was that like early WB kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mainly...
It was...
Oh, yeah!
I mainly know
I remember it now.
all the clans because I've been playing... I play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I think.
Okay.
And, yeah, so there's the Ventru that are like the leaders, and there's the Bruja, which are the anarchists, there's the Nosferatu, which are
the ugly ones. There's and there were the Toreador, which were like
pretty ones.
The pretty ones, which had a lot of sex on the TV show.
And then Malkavians that are
crazy,
completely bonkers, but
and
really
and,
cool.
Yeah, and the Tremere, which are former mages and stuff like that. There's a whole.
And then there's the Sabbat and the. What was it?
Yeah, the Sabbat, like all the clans from the show, getting started, they were all part of the Camarilla.
That's it, yeah.
And I'm going more off of my knowledge of the role playing game because
Yeah.
I watched like one episode of this and went, "Wow, this is trash."
Because you know why? It was on the WB.
Yeah,
here's another crappy show that no one will see.
But it was. I still remember it. So
I think I watched all like 9 episodes.
Yeah, it was.
It only ran for like 9 or 13 episodes. Or
yeah,
whatever.
it got killed pretty quick for sucking. But I was like, well, we're going to talk about things, and I keep remembering stuff, so I'm adding it, and then I moved stuff up in the list, so we talked about it earlier because it's crap.
All right, Stranger Things, which again is kind of like semi-scary.
Wait a sec, how big? First it was like that. Now he's like this.
I swear to God, man, it's just some little lizard, okay?
It's not a lizard.
How do you know?
How do I know if it's not a lizard?
Yeah, how do you know if it's not just a lizard?
Because his face opened up and he ate my cat.
I mean,
what is the Stranger Things you speak of?
Hit show on Netflix. With the Demigorgons and the Upside Down.
Yep.
Which I still...
Todd, have you...
Season 1.
You've only seen Season 1.
I've only seen Season 1.
Really?
I've watched Season 1, Season 2, and the first 2 episodes of Season 3.
God damn it,
But
Mike.
I know exactly what happened because one of my coworkers accidentally spoiled it for me.
Thank you for covering for me.
You spoiled it for me about one thing.
Oh,
you spoiled it for me about the big thing.
Well, then fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, so what happened when this thing... And so when that... It was like, yeah, I haven't seen all season yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
I'm still enjoying it quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
And
Are you savoring it?
I am such a shipper, and oh my god, I want Hopper to be the American that's on the other side of the planet now.
Well, the thing, I mean, and at least they're cutting it. Season 4 is going to be the last one.
Yeah.
So at least they're going to end it. Boom! Right then and there.
Sounds good.
I like when shows have a good, definitive ending.
Unlike The Walking Dead, yes.
Unlike The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah, exactly. 10 seasons, still going. Yeah, Stranger Things is cool because it actually is a successful time capsule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show, which is tough.
It feels like the 80s, but it's not 80s nostalgia. It's
Right.
legit
It's not-
80s.
It's not nostalgia bukkake.
Yeah, it's 80s setting, and they're honest to what the 80s were, but they're
Yeah.
not. It's not about being in the 80s.
Right. No. Before I continue, I just have to just mention one thing from earlier about what we do in the shadows. Only because I'm sitting right next to somebody named Mike. They're setting up the biannual vampire orgy, and it's very incumbent on the vampires to have a great orgy because you can just live the rest of your eternity in shame, like the one from 1932. No, Laszlo, we must not say his name. I'll say it. It's Mike. Fuck Mike.
I refuse to watch this show now.
I'm watching it. I'm
5
watching
minutes
it.
into it this afternoon after you told us about it at the
Yeah.
shop, and Joe was like, "I can't take this."
What?
Yeah.
Well, it's Joe.
Well, he doesn't. He also doesn't like Thor Ragnarok. So.
Boo.
Yeah. Well, I think we might have to try it again. Well, basically, all the good moments were spoiled was part of his issue with that Thor Ragnarok.
No.
I think he will watch it again.
He'd
But
better.
but I don't think he's still going to put it up in his top 5 movies. Anyway, I was like, you know what? I'll try to watch it on when he's not home. And tell him if it gets better than the first 5 minutes of the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez,
we might have to watch this movie that you speak of and try and go. Okay, now I want to see more in this setting.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of what we do in the shows, but I've seen clips of it. It's very funny.
It is genius. It really, Taika Waititi is amazing.
Yeah.
The Strain. Joe, I seem to remember you watched this.
I loved this.
Yeah.
I loved this show.
How many seasons did that run?
5.
Really? I only remember 2.
I only remember 2 or 3, yeah.
5.
And
ran 5 seasons.
Tell us, please, tell our dear listeners what it's about.
Okay. The Strain came out, it was
Guillermo del Toro.
That's right. That's why you're watching it. Guillermo the Bull.
And Sean Astin's in it, too.
He was in it for the first 4 episodes.
Oh, so apparently he gets killed off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
spoiler.
But The Strain, it came out. It's based on a series of books. It came out around the time when vampires were all sparkly and non-threatening and stuff like that, and the object of desire. No, this turned that whole trope on its head, and it gave vampirism a more kind of a scientifically based reasoning rather than just supernatural. But it used body. It was very much a body horror themes to it.
The vampires infected each other with little worms.
With worms,
yeah.
Basically. And
good.
It was basically the vampires were taking over the world, and you just had these. It's basically like a zombie apocalypse, but with vampires instead of zombies.
I'm just having a giggle fit over here at the idea of they made it scientific. Okay, they're vampiric midichlorians. Okay, go.
And the big bad master vampire looked like a Muppet with red eyes.
He did.
Oh
boy!
All right, next.
I never even watched it, but I heard about that.
Yeah.
More vampire goodliness here. True Blood.
We need to talk about your attitude.
I gotta make this dude a margarita first.
You don't want a margarita. You want a flat, half-empty beer. Now. This is yours. After the shit she was slinging, she owes you.
Thought you were mad.
You don't know me that well. My mad face and my happy face are the same.
Well, the first 2 seasons of goodliness. After that, just dragged on and on.
Good to know.
With Suki.
Suki.
Well, the series is called the Suki Stackhouse books.
Right.
But yeah, we watched. I took today off, so I was doing a little bit of cramming. So we
Yeah.
watched Dark Shadows. We watched a little bit of something else we're going to talk about later. Stuff like that. And we watched the first episode of this, and Joe loves Tara. Absolutely loves
Tara is such a great character that got lost in the shuffle.
Tara. Which one was Tara?
She's the mouthy chick. The mouth. I think she turns out to be a witch.
No.
No, different character.
No. Tara was her best friend. Was Suki's best friend.
Oh, right, yeah.
And she's got this. She just says what she thinks. Wow, it is so wonderful and hilarious. And I know that Joe Joe works retail, so he just wants to say these things to people.
Right. Right.
Oh, what was Lafayette?
Lafayette, yeah.
Yes. I like him for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, he got a little complicated, if you will.
Yeah.
I liked it. Here's the thing with this. This show would probably hit higher in my regards if it weren't for the series finale that I rushed home to watch. We were talking about True Blood, Todd. Todd had to leave.
Suki.
Any thoughts on True Blood? Did you watch it?
I watched the first season. Didn't love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Didn't love it.
I will say, I am so glad that series introduced us to which of the
Alexander Skarsgård?
Yeah, yes. He was easily the standout of that series.
Considering that we watch Vikings, so we have the Liam Hemsworth of Skarsgård. In that, I think is it Gustav? It's like there's Alexander, there's Stellan, their dad.
Yeah.
Alexander, the handsome one.
Yes.
And I think Gustav, the Danny DeVito from Twins. But yeah, I really actually I like.
Do you not mean Luke Hemsworth?
Oh, you're right, Luke Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, actually, that Skarsgård and that Hemsworth appeared on season 2 of Westworld.
Yep, that's why I know that there's another Hemsworth.
Gustav. Yes, the third Hemsworth.
For sports metaphors, it'd be Cooper Manning.
Oh, okay.
There's another Manning.
Yeah,
for God's
they all
sake.
suck, but Cooper sucks.
Yeah.
Cooper sucks the most.
But I think with True Blood, I liked it more than I thought I was going to, so we continued to watch it.
Yeah.
So
I like I said, I liked the first 2, maybe 3 seasons, and then I lost it. It just lost me.
Yeah, it was just that last episode was just so infuriating. I went to bed like this fucking show.
Oh, that's that's not good.
I was very pleased with the amount of boobage that we saw in the first few seasons. Though.
Well, of course, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Red-blooded American man. All right, Mike, you want to take the next one because apparently you're ashamed you didn't think of it first?
Yes. Oh, I love this show. Erie, Indiana.
My name is Marshall Teller. I knew my new hometown was going to be different from where I grew up in New Jersey, but this is ridiculous. Nobody believes me. But Erie, Indiana is the center of weirdness for the entire planet. Item. Elvis lives on my paper route.
Thank you, little paper boy.
Item. Bigfoot eats out of my trash. Item. Even man's best friend is weird. Still don't believe me? You will.
No?
No.
No?
Nope.
No? Really?
No.
Wow.
Knock yourself out, man.
Has anyone ever seen...
I knew Mike was going to mention it. I put it in there first.
Has anyone ever seen Hocus
Yoink.
Pocus?
Oh, yeah,
No,
of course.
actually.
No, actually, yeah, we were having this conversation that...
You have not... Even in your Suncoast days, you have not watched...
Wait. You work at Suncoast?
Well, the boy that...
It's pertinent information on this podcast.
The boy that plays the hero in Hocus Pocus, Omri Katz, was the main character in Erie, Indiana. Basically, he's a kid named Marshall Teller who moves into this town called Erie, Indiana, and he discovers that it's the center of weirdness for pretty much the entire world. Bigfoot regularly goes through his garbage. Elvis lives across the street from him. And in the first episode, he finds out that his next-door neighbors, they've been alive since the 50s, and their mother keeps them young by locking them in giant-sized Tupperware every night. And that preserves their age.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
You have to try that out.
Good to know.
Well,
forever young.
But yeah, it went for 2 seasons, and a lot of the episodes most of the episodes were just fine, but some of them were a little bit more on the creepy side.
Okay.
Very Are You Afraid of the Darkish?
Was this a Saturday morning?
Yes.
thing? Okay. I remember it being on Saturday mornings, on Fox or something.
Yeah, it was live action, and I've actually mentioned the episode before where one of their friends gets this massive retainer, and suddenly he can hear what dogs are saying.
Squirrel.
Yeah, except that the dogs are playing some world domination type thing. And
in Rick and Morty. Where are my genitals, Summer?
But yeah, when they find out that the kid can actually hear what they're talking about, they chase him down. And the kid is never seen again.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The dog comes back, meets up with Marshall the next day, and drops the kid's mangled retainer at their feet.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was the 3rd episode.
Now, the only talking dogs I want is the one from The Simpsons. Find your soulmate, Homer. What? Woof! Damn right. All right. I'm assuming Katherine brought up being human.
Yeah, I just threw that on there because we were talking about something from an earlier show we were just talking about, and I was like, oh yeah, being human. The whole
Was it Aidan Turner?
Yeah, in the original British, yeah.
Ah, yes, that's where you got to start.
The first 3 or 4 seasons of the British one.
I tried watching the British one, but I'd gotten too fond of the characters in the American version, which I watched
The
first.
American one wasn't bad.
Yeah,
All right, so now refresh my memory. So this is the one about the werewolf, the vampire, and the ghost who live together in a brick flat.
Now I remember it, because I remember the American version had Sam Witwer.
Someone's in the house. Where? Upstairs. Katie, hey, wait. Should we call 911? You're a werewolf. Just occasionally. Useless condition.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the Bobbsey twins. I am God. I am everywhere. I drive all night just to get back home.
Are you trying to scare us with Bon Jovi?
Yeah, I did.
In the American version, it was actually set in Boston.
In Boston, yep.
Yeah, it was set in Boston.
It had Sam Witwer and...
Yeah, you have to look him up.
Oh, if only you were holding something that could tell you the answers to that riddle.
But
yeah,
it's great because they're like, we're gonna get an apartment together and live there and try to be more normal. And they go in and the ghost starts going woo, and I was like, really, you're gonna try to scare us with Van Halen lyrics? She's like, oh, you can see me. And I loved they did subtle things. I don't know if they did this on the UK version, but when she sat on the couch, they put in like different cushions so they didn't dent when she sat on them.
Sam Huntington, that's who.
Yeah, Sam Huntington, and it was that was my introduction to Sam Witwer, really.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being Darkseid on Smallville or something.
Smallville, yep.
Yeah.
And,
well, I know because he's the voice of Darth Maul. He was the voice of Darth Maul in Clone Wars, Rebels,
and actually he was the voice of Palpatine as well.
And the voice of Palpatine, and he was Starkiller in the Star Wars games.
No.
But yeah, and I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
Mort Pelletier was on it as a vampire because they have vampires everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's mostly vampires, and then there's a side werewolf plotline, and it was all so cool.
It was wicked good. Yeah.
Yeah. Nora's character was great.
I really like Nora's character. Yeah.
She was in Alien vs Predator.
Okay.
Really?
Harkening back to our Halloween episode from 2 years ago.
The ghost was in Alien vs Predator.
I don't know if the ghost was, but Nora totally was. She's the girlfriend that the guy is crushing on that gets destroyed by aliens like near the end of the movie.
Well, are we talking Alien vs Predator or Alien vs Predator Requiem?
Ooh, Requiem.
Oh.
No.
I only saw that once. So
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Ray Bradbury Theater. Who put this one in here?
Me.
Was that you? Okay.
Dinosaurs, large and small, fill my junkyard workroom. This one given to me by a friend 30 years ago. These given as toys to my daughters, and when they didn't play with them, I simply took them back. So with dinosaurs coming into my life, I often wondered what would happen if I could go back into theirs. Dinosaurs, time machines. Put them together, and you have a tale 1 billion years old.
I watched this.
I'm not familiar with. I really am not familiar with this one. I
watched a few
apologize.
episodes. It was late 80s.
Yeah.
And I was watching a few episodes tonight. There are like a ton on YouTube. Some of them in parts. Some of them are whole. Like Sound of Thunder, which is a classic Ray Bradbury story. And then 0 Hour. Oh, I'd never seen that before tonight. Watch that. That is fucked up.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of like Ray Bradbury fiction sort of thing, definitely would watch 0 Hour. Doesn't have the happiest ending. Well, it depends on whose side you're on.
Okay.
What's called 0 Hour? I mean,
yeah.
Which means there's a countdown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Okay, we've got The Outer Limits. Also you, Katherine, I'm assuming?
I was just coming up with more titles. I don't
Anyone
even remember.
familiar with The Outer Limits? Other than it was really like the...
It existed.
It was the poor man's Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's basically what it was.
Yep. Dead Like Me?
Another one that I threw out there.
Yeah, it's got a question mark right next to it.
It's got a question mark because I'm like, well, if everybody's dead, that's, the main characters all died.
Right.
So, by and the main characters, it's all about people, Reapers specialize, and they're all people that died by, misadventure accidents, so suicides, space toilets coming out of space when, space stations deorbit and it take somebody out.
What was that show about the person that could bring someone back to life, but it would end up killing someone else at random?
Pushing Daisies? I know that was another show like it.
And then there was Carnival, which was on HBO, and that kind of did the same thing.
But yeah, Dead Like Me was on the HBO, and then they reran it on Sci-Fi Channel.
And then speaking of which, you've already given away the
Supernatural.
How many seasons is this running before they're finally putting a bullet into its the back of its head?
15, yeah.
15.
I swear, man, you gotta update your cassette tape collection.
Why?
Well, for one, they're cassette tapes. And two, Black Sabbath, Motorhead, Metallica, it's the greatest hits of mullet rock.
Well, house rules, Sammy. Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole.
I gave up fairly recently on this one. I gave up on Walking Dead.
I gave up on season 12.
Further proof the CW will never cancel anything.
Yeah, they're just finally... But the guy that wrote it did 5 seasons. This was his storyline, was 5 seasons, and then he left the show. And was like, have fun. And season 6 was not bad. And they did some good stuff, but it started... And they had a lot of fun, and it kept being pretty good, and then I was just like, you know what? Appointment television is hard, and it's not worth the effort anymore. But...
Felicia Day's in it.
Felicia Day, but she's definitely later seasons. Like, I don't know if she's in the first 5 seasons at all.
Well,
So
the thing is, when you get to a certain... It's like The Simpsons. You get to a certain point, you start repeating themes and stuff like that, and it's like... Stuff becomes repetitious. You're like, oh, they did this. This is something similar to what they did in season 3. Why do I want to watch it again?
Right. Yeah, but the first 5 seasons are very solid. And it was great when they introduced the writer who he's a prophet. He knows what's going on and he's writing all the books. And he's like, and he starts apologizing for all the really sucky episodes. He's like, the bugs. Oh my god, did you have to live through that? I'm so sorry.
All right, let's move on to some other series here. Sleepy Hollow, Joe, was that you?
No,
that was you. Okay.
Though I enjoyed.
I remember that being like appointment television for like half a season, and then it was like, oh, it's still on the air.
Yeah, well, I watched through like the first 2 seasons, and apparently it ran for like 5 or 6.
What?
4. No, it only like 4.
Oh, it ran for.
Yeah.
Well, I did it
on Fox.
I did really enjoy it, so I need to get caught back up. But yeah, I mean, the guy who played Ichabod was
so good.
He was definitely the most great thing about that season.
And when they brought in what's his name, John? He was on Fringe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, John
Noble, as Ichabod's son.
Yeah. Well, you just spoiled
for the love of Pete, it's been 10 years.
And once you guys started explaining, I'm like, oh, right, I do know what this is about. I never watched it.
And Clancy Brown was in the first episode.
Oh, he was, the first episode.
He played Sulu in the movies.
John Cho.
John Cho. Yeah, he had a recurring character throughout at least the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, Undead.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the end of the first or second episode, he gets killed off in a pretty gruesome way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to combine these next 2 because they're kind of two sides of the same coin here. Friday the 13th series and Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah,
usually shown.
I've never seen any. I never watched them. I just thought we can't talk about this topic
I watched a couple of these and they're bad.
Yeah.
First of all, Freddy only shows up just to introduce it, kind of like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
But you could tell that he didn't spend nearly as much time in the makeup chair. It's like he's wearing it's like Robert Englund is there, but he's wearing like a store-bought Freddy mask.
He's getting older, so they didn't have to do as much work.
This was in the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
This is during his pay.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
This was just a short cash-in.
Cash-in on the it was cash-in on the...
Okay, never mind.
And Friday the 13th had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. It was all like these supernatural things.
It's like there was like this supernatural curio shop, and they had to recover...
Exactly. It's like it may as well have just been a monkey's paw.
Yeah, they had to recover all the missing artifacts or whatever.
Speaking of the monkey's paw. Simpsons Treehouse of Terror.
Love it.
Horror.
Oh yeah. Horror. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Take this object, but beware, it carries a terrible curse.
Ooh, that's bad.
But it comes with a free Frogut.
That's good.
The Frogut is also cursed.
That's bad.
But you get your choice of topping.
That's good.
The toppings contain potassium benzoate. That's bad.
Can I go now?
Quoth the Raven, "Eat my shorts."
Oh, the monkey's paw is hilarious. Ah, he's got a board with a nail through it.
Now you see that those episodes, they started just kind of creepy, but with a really with a Simpsons humor. There are some of the episodes that are just straight up creepy and disgusting.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like there was the episode where the school teachers are eating all the students.
Yes, Martin Prince, please report to the office and bring that sweet succulent brain of yours.
That was the zombie one. That was funny.
Well, no, that wasn't.
That was the zombie.
No, well, no, the zombie one.
That one sounds like a spoof on The Faculty.
Yeah,
which it wasn't because it came out before The Faculty.
No, the one the one where they're eating all the kids. They start off by eating Uter.
Yes,
Uter.
I am full of.
Please don't chase me. I'm full of chocolate. Todd, do you have a favorite Treehouse of Horror?
I mean, it's actually in that same episode. It's well, I don't think it's in the same episode, but The Shinning.
Oh, I love The Shinning.
Don't you get sued?
Yeah, that's good.
No TV, no beer, make Homer something.
Go crazy.
Don't mind if I do.
I really like the Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare
Oh yeah.
Never Comes Twice. I say lousy Smarch weather 31 times in Smarch. And it's just part of my life. Do not touch Willie. Oh, it's good advice. And like you said, like some of them are actually very, very funny and a really good parody of
Dial
something.
Z for Zombie is one of my all-time favorite episodes.
Whole Mega Man.
Oh my god, the whole Mega Man's got one of my favorite moments in all of
Did
Simpsons
anyone see
history.
that movie Tron? No. Yes. What? I mean, no.
That's the thing with Aquaman. You can't marry her. You're from two different worlds. Oh, I've wasted my life. And when they show the French consulate, yes, they think we are just a whole bunch of funny talking frog people, and they just look like frogs.
It's great. And they're going on Treehouse 30 this year.
Oh,
next year.
boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I might get caught up when Disney Plus comes out.
Yeah, no, it's tough now, but the Treehouse, the most brilliant Treehouse of Horrors, season 5 through 10.
Yeah.
You can say the same for Simpsons seasons.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Everything for me begins and ends.
In the same as Evergreen Terrace was the Homer 3D.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very,
That
very
was
strange.
amazing.
I remember.
I'm the first non-Brazilian to travel through time. Make that the second. That's right, Mr. Peabody. Quiet, you.
Good stuff. But it's something I look forward to. It's something I look forward to every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing.
And it was usually their season premiere, right?
It used to be.
Yeah.
They're 3 episodes deep this season already.
Dad,
so.
you killed the zombie Flanders.
He was a zombie?
One of the things, a later one, and it's a parody of I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Flanders is a werewolf.
Oh.
And they hit him with a car, and he reveals himself to be a werewolf, and they're like, Flanders, you're a werewolf. And he goes, grrr, diddly. For some reason, it's just hilarious.
Oh, I love the one where they were on the spaceship getting launched into the sun. Like all the people were like on one spaceship, and then they were on the sun spaceship, and they realized that they're not on the good one because they're like, there's
Pauly Shore and
Rosie O'Donnell and like all this other stuff. And Rosie O'Donnell's like, we're gonna sing a song, and Homer and Bart are like, we can't take it. Let's just jump right now. And they just jump into space and explode. And they're like, so much better.
Wasn't the 96 election episode Treehouse of Horror?
Oh, yeah. Fortunes for some, miniature American flags for others. Yay! And
we can just vote third party. Sure, throw away your vote.
Yeah, anything with Kang and Kodos was
yes.
good.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos. All right, then finally on here, who wrote various sitcom Halloween episodes?
Me. That was me.
All right, awesome.
Again, something I always look forward to.
Bring it up. Bring one up, man.
Today on a very special episode.
a very more recent. I guess it was 10 years old at this point. Modern Family's first Halloween episode that they did, where Phil did the haunted house, and it's hilarious. Go check it out if you haven't seen it.
Wasn't a big Modern Family fan.
Deal with it.
I liked them Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They talked about how Halloween was always slow because all the monsters thought it was overblown. Yeah. So I stayed home that night.
How I Met Your Mother had a good one. The very first season.
Oh, with the
hanging Chad.
The hanging Chad. Oh yeah. No, but there was another one though too. With what was the slutty
penguin?
The slutty penguin. That's right.
A deep dive here. There was a really scary two-parter, a Halloween episode of Punky Brewster.
Oh god.
Ooh. No, but like they
Punky.
They were like in the woods, and they were telling like ghost stories, and they were like this is one with like a Indian curse, and there's like a giant skeleton monster. It was I just remember seeing it once and just running out of the room because I couldn't take it anymore.
Every retrospective about Punky Brewster I've seen lately has been like that show was pure nightmare fuel.
And then
like
Sherry got trapped in the refrigerator.
Oh!
I was just thinking about that
Punky.
episode. I was like, was that the one where she got locked in the refrigerator?
Yeah, but not the episode where the children watched the space shuttle exploding and then had to deal with their feelings afterwards.
But it was George Gaines.
It was George Punky.
Oh, Punky.
And that's what happens when you wear two different shoes.
Oh, but the cartoon.
Oh. Oh my god.
She had the fuzzy alien friend who was basically stolen from the Black Cauldron.
Well, did you see the robot chicken parody of that?
I don't remember.
It gives her big boobs, and so she walks into the closet, and so he makes her boobs go bigger and bigger until they explode
because she'd been neglecting him because
she became an adult.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I do remember the Roseanne Halloween episodes where like that was their big thing. They wouldn't do a Christmas episode. They would do the Halloween episode. Always so topical though with whatever's going on
at that time. Yeah.
At that time in the 90s.
I feel like it's an easy kind of thing for a sitcom to do, but it always ends up being pretty entertaining.
Yeah, like The Office. The Office would do that with like Three Hole Punch Jim.
Yep.
And the episode where it was right after The Dark Knight came out.
Where Creed does his
Creed does Joker
oh
and it's like you actually felt scared.
Yep.
God.
South Park's had a few scary Halloween episodes.
So
South Park?
Oh yeah.
Like there's a zombie one where Pink Eye.
Pink Eye. So, well, that was a lot of TV. Yeah. My God, that was a lot of TV.
It's almost like we were raised by it.
I know, exactly.
Latchkey kids that
we
are.
What babysitter? I had television.
What about Scooby-Doo?
Okay. Scooby-Doo was all Halloween episodes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
And if you want to know my definition of hate, let's talk about Scooby-Doo.
It was 9 or 49, I tell you.
And I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Wasn't Mama Cass was on an episode, I think.
Mama Cass was on an episode?
Of Scooby-Doo. And I think she was out snacking with Scooby.
Oh, read the room, Hanna-Barbera. Read the room.
She was still alive. She was her voice.
It was Dawn Knotts, I tell you.
They had one with Laurel and Hardy. It's like, aren't you two dead?
Yes, they were.
This was the 60s. You're both dead.
They also had the Three Stooges with Mo, Larry, and Curly Joe DeRita.
Oh, God. Well,
but it wasn't even voiced by them. It was voiced
they were all dead, too.
Yeah.
They had the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. They had Batman and Robin.
See, it's not just Halloween.
Yep, exactly.
Fun for everybody.
Define fun.
They made a comic book series with Scooby-Doo in like a zombie apocalypse now.
Fantastic. That's a great note to end this show on.
Yay!
So anyway, Todd, thanks again for joining us.
Todd.
I'm sorry we couldn't talk more about Angel and Buffy.
Yeah, well, we might just have to do like a whole
another side episode of Angel and Buffy.
Because they are, Buffy had their 20th anniversary not too long ago, and Angel's 20th anniversary is this year.
Yeah, it is. I seem to remember that.
So obviously you're gonna have to watch the whole series so we can talk about it.
Have to binge.
Yeah, 144 episodes of Buffy. Let's just do it.
Let's do it right now.
Just
45 minutes per.
I got a coffee maker. We can do this.
Right?
Yeah.
It's on Hulu.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you have no excuse, Suncoast.
I was going to say, there goes my fucking excuse. God damn it.
There you go, Suncoast.
Cornered. Yeah, cornered.
You're already there. It's not behind the wall, the paywall.
Oh! And you can't even make the excuse that you don't have Hulu because I gave you my password.
All right, so next episode, we're actually going to make good on what we said this episode was going to be. So we are going to be talking about our favorite new podcasts and YouTube channels.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear
what, or just stuff that we
stuff that we're still
for us.
Okay.
When we did this show almost 5 years ago, I kind of feel like we're all different people now in terms of our viewing habits, especially with YouTube creators kind of having a larger venue now, and maybe stuff that you used to watch back then that you don't watch as much now.
Okay.
Maybe they've been replaced with other.
I'm still the same person.
Yeah, I know you're still the same person. Like,
Yeah,
you don't ever
I don't
change.
grow.
Don't
I
ever
grow and
change.
I'm very stuck in my ways.
I'm emotionally stunted right now. Just leave me alone.
Yay.
So we're going to be talking about our favorite podcasts, our YouTube, our kind of like our now listening, now watching episodes. So if you have any favorite podcasts or YouTube channels, let us know. You can email them to us at geeksaladradio@gmail.com. You can let us know also on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio, Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast, and you can also check out all of our stuff at geeksalad.podbean.com. You get the full archive there, as well as on the Podbean app. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts, on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, or YouTube, where the full audio of these episodes is released, as well as Mike and my retro movie reviews, which is kind of like our weekly exclusives on the channel.
Yay!
And the entire month of Shocktober.
Oh, so I thought it was Shriektober.
Shriektober?
No, it's Shriek Salad. That's right.
It's Shriek Salad at Shocktober.
Oh, God.
There's too many shhs.
Hush. Oh boy! So now let's go. Let's all go trick or treating, guys. And thanks again, Todd.
Yay!
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll
Happy
talk to you
Halloween.
later. And yes, happy Halloween.
This is our year. I'm telling you, best football season ever. I'm so in shape, I'm a rock. It's all about egg whites. If we can focus, keep discipline, and not have quite as many mysterious deaths, Sunnydale is gonna rule!